Hello and welcome to Zwia Reviews. My name is Zwia and I am a gigantic nerd. I'm obsessed with comic books, I'm obsessed with video games, I love spending money on things I do not need, and I love movies. In fact, my reviews are me usually reviewing movies I just recently seen. I just got partnered with Geekade after doing some videos on my own, so you'll be able to find me on their YouTube channel. Now, if you've been following my past work, Geekade is an awesome website that I cannot recommend you check out enough. They have podcasts, they have articles, they have anything you could ever want nerdy, and now I'm going to be a part of them, which is really exciting for me because, I mean, this is a big deal for me. I'm really pumped. So anyway, enough with the introduction. I think my reviews are awesome. Thank you for checking me out. Let's look at Now You See Me 2. Have you seen Now You See Me? Like the original one. I'm not talking about Now You See Me 2. Have you seen Now You See Me? Now You See Me is an awesome movie. Alright, you got some like Ocean's 11, like thiefy, trickery stuff. It's got magic. It's got like twists and turns in the plot. Like this is a movie that you do not know what's gonna happen next, and then things come and happen, and it's one of those movies that like this next time you see it, it's better, because now you understand everything. You're like, oh, this is awesome, and it's funny, and Jesse Eisenberg's not terrible in it, and Mark Ruffalo is the most sincere. He's just dreamy, and they got a hot redhead in it, and it's great. Now, picture that being sold out to some studio execs that just want to force a sequel out, and it basically poops on the entire original movie to the point that, like, I kid you not, this movie, Now You See Me 2, is so unneeded and bad, and everything that they do in it is so pointless that it actually makes the original worse. And I haven't seen that happen since Spider-Man. First of all, that is a waste of a title. Like, why isn't it called, like, Now You Don't? I'm telling you, if there's a third one, it'll be called Now You 3 Me. Which is just, Now You See Me 2. It's a missed opportunity. It really is. Anyway, but Now You See Me 2, it very much feels like a corporate forced move. Like, hey, we have this really successful movie. Let's make a second one. And it fails to live up to everything about the original and adds nothing of value. Its plot is terribly boring and confusing. The characters all become very unlikable. The magic tricks are simple and boring, and yeah, like I said before, it actually diminishes the first one, which is so... Who does that? How do you let that happen? To give you an understanding of how this movie shits on the original, let's start with the characters. In the original movie, you had the Horsemen. These were the main characters, and basically, they're four magicians that are doing a little Robin Hood, rags to riches kind of stuff. Okay? They steal from the rich, they give it to the poor, they are awesome. You got the leader, you got the badass, you got the cocky, self-assured one, and you got the girl. I mean, yeah, they're pretty generic, but they're awesome. This movie goes and takes the likableness of them and just destroys these characters, making them all very generic and very similar to each other. No longer are they stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. They're pretty much just doing it for themselves, for their glory. I mean, there's some goodness to them, but it's so not focused on that they all just look like assholes. So really, instead of the four I mentioned before, you get asshole number 1, who wants to be a leader. You get asshole number 2, who specializes in hypnosis. You get asshole number 3, who specializes in card tricks, and you get the girl.
The girl horseman. Woo! Yeah! Nope.
Who's awesome, but, I mean, she's a little played out. I mean, none of the characters are very distinct in this movie anymore. They all are just making sassy remarks at each other every 5 minutes, and not even doing too much magic. And it's even just the good guys that are very generic. The bad guys are all the same. And I don't mean same as in they're all the same with each other. I'll give this movie credit. They have a varied group of bad guys. They each have their own little talents, and I guess but they're just playing the same roles that they were in the first movie. And Daniel Radcliffe's in it now, which is great. Okay, cool, we got Harry Potter here for a magic show. But he's just a generic villain too. Like, none of the villains are even that exciting, and these are villains we've already dealt with. So why should I care about this movie when we've already beaten the same villains? Which brings me to the next point of this movie not living up to the first one. The magic. Now You See Me is supposed to be about magic tricks, doing crazy things. This movie shows very little magic and primarily is just card tricks and hypnosis, or them just talking and walking around, being snarky to each other. But no, this movie is just card tricks and hypnosis. And after a while, I mean, if you don't believe in hypnosis as too much of a thing, especially how easy they make it, where it's like, I'm gonna go and talk to you, person that I've never met before, you're hypnotized. If you find that a little iffy to believe, you can get through the first one no problem. They only really focus on that a handful of times, so it's believable. This movie, every single tough situation they're in, they're like, oh, we'll solve it by quickly hypnotizing them. Woo. And it's insulting and boring, and I'm here for sleight of hands, tricks, and clever uses of the technology you have at your disposal. And they're just like, well, we're gonna do some mind control and we're gonna throw cards around, which isn't exciting for me. That's boring. And then we go to the plot. The story in this movie is pretty much the same as the original movie. The Horsemen want to be part of the Eye, which is this Illuminati magic society, and they want to be members of it, and they want to live up to their expectations. And then at one point they get hypnotized and people get traveled across the world, and then they have to steal stuff for magic's sake. And the movie's almost identical in a lot of ways. You're watching the same movie almost down to the wire, except for the tricks are less exciting, and we've already seen them beat these villains before, so why should we think they can't do it again? It's not even raising the stakes, it's leaving the stakes where they are, except for we've seen it happen, so now it's less, because it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is easy. They've done this. It's just insulting, because I was really excited for this movie, but it was just a shittier version of the original. And as I said before, it actually makes the original movie less enjoyable. Now let me touch on that. This is going to be the most spoilerly part of this video. The original movie leaves Morgan Freeman in jail as the bad guy. And you find out that he was behind Mark Ruffalo's dad dying, or he was involved in it, or something like that. Mark Ruffalo ends up being this master magician, screws over Morgan Freeman, gets Morgan Freeman put in jail. It's a whole revenge plot. That was awesome. That was you didn't really expect it. It was cool. The only character to change in this movie is Morgan Freeman. The villain of the first movie, Morgan Freeman, gets revealed at the end of Now You See Me 2 that he was Mark Ruffalo's dad's partner all along, and he has been a good guy this whole time and had no involvement in his dad's death, even though it was very clear he had involvement in the first movie, so now he's a good guy. And there's even a point where Mark Ruffalo's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? And Morgan Freeman's like, I don't know. So everyone will be like, I don't know. I'm not doing a Morgan Freeman impression. And it's just like, you've had like a year or two to just, why were you rotting in prison for nothing when you were innocent? And just, all he had to do was tell Mark Ruffalo for years that, hey, I was your dad's buddy, I'm really sorry this happened. Let me help you out because you're like a second son to me. Not only was it a cop-out, but it defeats the entire motivation of the first movie. So now you watch the first movie and you're like, well, this makes no sense. And I brought up Spider-Man before because in Spider-Man 3, Sandman is revealed to be the killer. And that always bothered me because of Uncle Ben. Because that always bothered me because Spider-Man's entire motivation is, hey, I indirectly killed my uncle. So now if Sandman did it, then Spider-Man had no real connection, so he doesn't have that guilt, so it ruins all of his motivation for the first two movies. This movie does that, where there's no reason to be upset with Morgan Freeman, because Morgan Freeman was a good guy the whole time. So now if you watch the first movie, you're just like, oh, well, that sucks, Morgan Freeman. I'm really sorry. You should have told us, like, years ago. This movie's really bad. It's just boring and bad, and none of the characters are likable, and it's so sad, because the first one's so good. And the only good things I can say are, I don't know, it had some good jokes. Lizzie Kaplan, I think that's her name. She's awesome. I mean, she's awesome in everything she's in, so she was cool to watch. And you get to see Woody Harrelson have an evil twin brother. That was cool. And it's just sad, because this could have been really good. But it wasn't. I'm really upset about this. Anyway, that was my review of Now You To Me To See Me To. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe to Geekade. So, follow Geekade on Facebook. Follow Zwia and Pals on Facebook for my own personal thoughts on stuff. And yeah, check out our next videos, because we're awesome and things are awesome. And I'm just going to do it with my hands. I'm going to do this. So anyway, check us out next time, and don't see Now You See Me Too, because that movie was such a waste of money.